So this bright blue wonder here is Samsung's Galaxy A32 5G. At 250 quid, it's a serious chunk of change cheaper than those S21 flagships, but it still has a lot to offer if you slap your SIM inside, including that feature-packed OneUI launcher and a quad-lens rear camera. Now, I've been using the Galaxy A32 5G as my full-time smartphone for about a week now, and while it's not perfect by any means, it is a very respectable budget blower, especially for any Samsung fans out there. So here's my full Samsung Galaxy A32 5G review, and for more on the latest greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So let's start with the design of the Galaxy A32, and it isn't particularly crotch-tingling admittedly, although I definitely enjoyed that colour choice, which Samsung has amusingly called Awesome Blue. I mean, it's rather fetching, for sure, but it hasn't exactly got me dropping to my knees, mouth gaping in astonishment. Oh, and here in the UK, you can also grab the Galaxy A32 5G in Awesome Violet, Awesome Black, or Awesome White. Which one's the most awesome of this awesome bunch? Well, that's for you to decide. And like most budget phones, this Sammy blower is constructed from plastic, but it is still a rather hefty 205 grams. Now, after a week of use, I have found that back end of the Galaxy A32 can be a little bit creaky in places, and speaking of that arse, there is a very light dust and a very fine scratches after a good few days of full-on use as well. Although thankfully the light colour option means that they are kind of hard to pick out. And sadly, while a lot of budget smartphones now come with a protective condom case bundled in the box, you get no such thing with the Galaxy A32 5G. Samsung's been a bit stingy on that front. Although, you know, at least they actually put a charger in the box, so that's something. And there's no IP rating for water resistance here either, which to be fair is pretty standard for budget smartphones under £300. It's absolutely fine if it gets a bit moist, a bit of light rain, something like that, but yeah, don't go dunking it in water. As for the software experience here on the Galaxy A32 5G, it's fresh new Android 11 OS with Samsung's own OneUI launcher version 3.0 smothered on top, so it's essentially the same sort of software experience you'll get on those Galaxy S21 flagships. In other words, you get loads of extra features packed in here courtesy of OneUI, including the Edge panel for quickly opening two apps in split screen and that very useful one-handed mode. Your privacy is boosted with Samsung's Knox features, where you've also got NFC on board with full support for Google Pay, as well as, of course, Samsung Pay. You don't get the full complement of OneUI features that you'll find on the S21 flagship, so for instance the Samsung Bixby Routines feature, which I quite like, has been culled. You don't get that DeX support for basically turning your phone into a makeshift PC when you're on the move. But all the essentials are on board here, so no worries. As for the storage, well, here in the UK you can only pick up the Galaxy A32 5G with 64 gigs of storage, which is proper measly of Samsung once again. After all, a lot of budget rivals offer double that amount. Even the Moto G30, which costs about 100 quid less, offers 128 gigs of storage. But to be fair, at least you've got support for micro SD memory cards up to a terabyte in size, which is a feature you don't even get on those S21 flagships. So if you need to, you can expand that space. For unlocking your phone, you've got an edge-mounted fingerprint sensor, which is perfectly reliable, and you've also got face recognition as a backup as well, which works a treat, even when it's fighting against the light. So even though it's not the definitive OneUI experience and you can have a bit of a whinge about the weedy amount of storage space, I definitely enjoyed my time with the Galaxy A32 5G. It's got all the features in there that you would expect it to have. Now, if I'm going to whinge about something else here, it might as well be about the Galaxy A32's 6.5-inch PLS screen, which is a bit of a letdown at this price point compared with the competition. It's basically the same cheapy display found on the considerably more affordable Galaxy A12 with that basic 720p resolution. For 250 quid, I'd certainly expect a full HD display. But to be fair, the standard HD visuals here are good enough for enjoying full-length movies, and you've got the requisite wide vinyl 1 support for Netflix. There's definitely a sense of make and do here though, and also many rival smartphones from the likes of Xiaomi and Realme at this sort of price point offer at least a 90Hz refresh rate, in some cases even a 120Hz refresh. Here on the Galaxy A32 5G, it's bog standard 60. So if you want things to look nice and schmoove, you're going to have to look elsewhere. You may just get a mono speaker here for your media as well, but at least it packs a punch on that top volume. It's super loud and you get respectable clarity as well. It doesn't sound particularly tinny. And another area where the A32 5G trumps the S21 flagships is the fact that you actually get a proper headphone jack stuck away down below. And if you do prefer to go wireless, we got full Bluetooth 5.0 support, so no worries on that front either. I found that this phone formed a strong bond with speakers and headphones, and the connection stayed strong even when I was drifting around between rooms. Now, the performance side of things, you've got what MediaTek's Dimensity 720 chipset stuffed away in here, backed by a not particularly generous 4 gigs of RAM. And I gotta say, I did see the occasional little pause or bit of jankiness from the Galaxy A32, although nothing horrendous at all, and it was very occasional, just like skipping from one app to another. There'd sometimes be a slight pause. Occasionally I'd try and hurriedly open up the camera app if, you know, your kid or your pet or whatever's doing something cute, and it'll just take that little bit of extra time that you were really hoping it wouldn't. And speaking of that camera app, I did see it crash a couple of times as well, which was pretty bloody annoying. But still, it was only the very occasional bit of jankiness. Overall, the Galaxy A32 did behave itself, and I did find that gaming was a reliably smooth experience too. Call of Duty tops off at medium detail settings, but I didn't see any judders or anything even during super intense sessions. You've also got Samsung's Game Booster feature, which serves up the nifty priority mode, and that prevents you from being disturbed by messages and other notifications. Definitely a help when you're trying your best to blast your mates into tiny wet chunks. As for the battery life, well, that's certainly not a concern at all. The Galaxy A32 5G packs a 5000 mAh cell, and between that, the fact you've got that power-efficient MediaTek chipset, the low-powered 720p display means that you'll easily keep going all day long without running dry. Personally, I found that even with about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, lots of media streaming in the background, lots of intensive use basically, at the end of the day, I'd still tend to have around 30% battery remaining. Although yeah, Samsung's 15-watt fast charging isn't exactly going to win any awards anytime soon. Now last up, let's have a gander at that quad lens camera tech, headed by a 48 megapixel sensor that is fine and dandy for everyday photography. In the auto mode, this grabs 12 megapixel snaps using the 4-in-1 pixel binning to produce bright, clean looking pics. You can also bump up to that maximum 48 megapixel resolution in the camera settings if you like, but to be honest, even at 12 meg, I found that there was enough detail packed into your shots to make them look good when you blow them up onto a laptop screen or a monitor or even a TV. The Galaxy A32 copes well with strong light and sharp contrast, certainly handling them better than previous A-series phones like the A51, although indoor shots still look quite soft and can be fuzzy if you and your subject don't keep absolutely still. However, when you're outdoors in good light, this phone can capably handle fast-moving stuff like small children who've just consumed their double Mr. Whippy with flake and sprinkles. You got an 8 megapixel ultra-wide-angle shooter, which of course doesn't capture as much detail, but also does a respectable job of keeping those natural-looking colours while offering you a different view of the action. There's also a 2 megapixel depth sensor, which helps to pump out some attractive-looking portrait photos, complete with scalable bokeh action in the background. Just maybe don't get your kids to take the shot because yeah. Last up, you've also got a 5 megapixel macro lens, which isn't actually as bad as some that I've tried. You can generally get a sharp shot without too much effort. There is a persistent and rather annoying bug here in the camera app though, and that is when you flick to the More section to load up a different camera mode, bugger all happens. That is until you start piddling about with the orientation, and then eventually, magically, all of those missing camera modes will just pop up on screen like so. You've got a couple of good features thrown in here, like the night mode, which isn't as impressive as the Xiaomi equivalent, but it can brighten up a snap in low light. And you've got a proper pro mode in here as well, which is good for messing around with some of the individual settings and just tweaking a photo just so. If you switch to video mode, the Galaxy A32 5G continues to impress. You can shoot up to 4K resolution, Ultra HD home movies, and the overall quality is good for this price point. Even strong sunlight doesn't seem to throw off the A32 at all, while audio is cleanly picked up both in front of and behind the lens. Unfortunately, unlike that rear cam, the A32's 8 megapixel selfie camera does struggle in bright light, often producing soft shots or simply oversaturating the image so it looks proper arse. But if you take the time to get your angles right, you'll get a decent image, complete with a bit of portrait mode action again, if you like. So that's my full review of Samsung's Galaxy A32 5G after using it as my full-time smartphone for about a week or so. And I've got to say, if Samsung had just slapped a Full HD 90Hz display on this thing and been a bit less stingy when it comes to the likes of the storage and the RAM, then I would be well on board with it. It would certainly be a strong rival to the likes of Xiaomi's Mi 10T Lite, which is still one of my favourite budget smartphones around that sort of £200 price point. And that said, if you really like Samsung's way of doing things, you prefer a bit of OneUI action to the likes of Realme UI and MIUI 12, then definitely jump on board. So have you, yes you, been using the Galaxy A32 5G? It'd be great to hear your own review down in the comments below. Please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell if you want to see more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a fan-bloody-tastic rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!